Everybody, welcome back. Sorry this took a little while. I planned to get it out much sooner, like last weekend, but after I finished the season, so much happened. I had to let it sink in and really get my thoughts together, and they're still not all together, but I need to get this out because I really want to start season 3. I'm actually probably going to do it. Depends when you're going to see this video, but just know it'll probably be out the same day as this video or maybe the next day, but I need to get this out first, of course, so I'm just going to make a disclaimer, which I've said before. I am pretty awkward talking just to the camera on my own. I said this in the last review video that I'm okay when I'm watching an episode and I'm making comments, but just sitting and talking to the camera. And then questions, it's like when I'm answering a certain question, especially a detailed one, I know what I want to say in my head, but it won't come out the way I want to, which is kind of embarrassing. So forgive me if my answers aren't like amazing. But just like last time, I'm just going to generally talk about the season. There's like double the episodes, so I can't go in depth on every single episode. But I've also will give you my top 5, well probably 6 episodes of the season, and then answer questions and give my predictions for season 3, and we'll just see where this goes. There's probably going to be a lot of cutting because I'm probably going to have a lot of awkward pauses, but just bear with me. And I have everything on the computer up there, so I'm going to be looking up to read stuff, so. Now, season 2. I already loved season 1, which I've said before, and everybody was hyping up this season, saying it gets better, and so it was already exciting for me. I'm like, hey, if I love season 1, I'm going to love season 2, and that was true. It started out great with the beginning of the season, and as it hit the middle point, that's when it went, I didn't even think the show could go to that level. And it just went up and up and up and up like a roller coaster. Makes me excited for the next seasons, because to me it's been just going up and getting better and better. So much darker than I thought it could be. But I'm just going to go a general talk through of the episodes. So we have the premiere, when she was bad. Now, I knew Buffy would probably be a little traumatized, of course, with what happened at the end of season 1, but she took it in a way I didn't really think she would. But one of my predictions from last season was that the Master would come back in some way, and he did. Well, almost. I didn't really like the way she was treating everybody, but I understood it, and I'm glad they resolved it. And the Master didn't come back, so I think it was a great premiere. Then we have Some Assembly Required, second episode. Interesting. I loved how they did their own take on Frankenstein. It's creepy. I'm curious what Cordelia would have been like if she actually got turned. I mean, I feel sad for the brother, because he died, and it wasn't his choice coming back, and then he had to pretty much be hidden, so. But it was a unique concept, I like that. And then School Hard. Do I really have to say much about School Hard other than Spike? Spike. And Drusilla, but Spike. Because other than Angel, the Master, Luke, Darla, Angel, did I say Angel? Anyway. Other than them, most of the other vampires in the show have been really cookie cutter, just, they jump out, she fights them, they're gone. But as soon as he came on, Drusilla, I could tell right away they were different, and I wasn't wrong, and they brought such more flavor to the show, and I'm glad they continued on throughout the season, and I hope we'll see him again in season 3. And then Inca Mummy Girl. Xander. He has the worst luck with girls, or women. And poor Empada, the real Empada, he comes to America for the first time, I guess, and And I was always curious what it would have been like if they could have turned Pada, or whatever her real name is, back to like a regular human, like so she wouldn't have to suck the life out of people. It would have been interesting to see how her and Xander's relationship would have been, and I thought they would have been cute together, but obviously that wasn't how it was going to be, so they had to stop her. But it was interesting seeing the parallel between her and Buffy having similar destinies and how they both handled it differently, and yeah. And then we had episode 5, Reptile Boy. Good episode. The monster, I liked seeing Cordelia and Buffy together, outside of school, and Cordelia was kind of using her, but that creepy guy got what he deserved, so. I love Halloween. It's my favorite time of the year, so of course any show with Halloween episode is going to be high up there for me. I loved how they, I love the concept of them turning into their costumes, especially how Willow turned into a ghost, but she was still her, so I liked how she was the one trying to, like, rein everybody in. And also we got introduced to Ethan Rayne, which, very interesting villain. I hope we see him more. But yeah, I loved that episode. And we had episode 7, Lie to Me. That really was an episode that made you think. It got really deep. It was great having Buffy get a friend back, but he wasn't there for the right reasons. It was really sad that he had to die. He was already dying. I understand where he was coming from. He didn't want to die. He wanted to be a vampire. But it wouldn't be him anymore. And it was interesting seeing, like, that little community of, like, vampire lovers, and I'm sure they probably don't love them anymore, so. Then we have the Dark Age, episode 8. I've always said I wanted to see more backstory on the characters, so seeing more into Giles' past, since we got teased a little bit at the end of the previous episode. It was really interesting to see he had a pretty dark past and was way different than what he is now. And we got to see Ethan Rayne again, and it was sad, losing all his past friends like that, but, and also one of the best ideas to, transfer the demon into Angel, since he's already dead. That was, like, genius. Then we had What's My Line, part 1 and 2. Wow. The main thing I say is when they had the, introduction of Kendra, the vampire slayer. Like, I think that was the episode at the end where I was like, what, like, said what a million times, because like I said, I thought there was only one. I totally didn't think about how Buffy had died at the end of the last season, how that would have awoken another Slayer. But it was really great seeing them work together, seeing how different their upbringings were, how that made their style of slaying so different, and I think they learned from each other, and I love seeing them team up to stop Spike from killing Angel, and then Drusilla gets strong again, and it was a great two-parter. Then we have Ted. Honestly, this is probably my least favorite episode of the entire series so far. Not that it was a bad episode. I love John Ritter, and every episode has great writing and great moments, but personally it just made me very uncomfortable. Just the way he acted and his abusive behavior, and not that I've 100% personally gone through that. It just made me uncomfortable, and if I had to pick a least favorite episode, that would be it. But as all Buffy episodes had great moments too. And it was good to know that he was an actual robot, not actual real guy, so she didn't actually kill him. But it was to see her in that mindset thinking she killed a human. I'm glad that didn't really happen. Then we have Bad Eggs. If you go back to my reaction, I think you know how I feel about this episode. It was quite lighthearted, very gross. I don't want to see those little creatures again, but we got to see those quirky vampire, like the cowboy guys, and they were fun. I know one of them got away. I don't know if that was just like a one-off, but it was interesting seeing just like a different kind of little side vampire villain than we've seen before. Then we get to where the season really twisted and turned up, because before this point, yeah, there was darker things, but this is like, we have surprise and innocence. Surprise with Buffy's birthday, and we had the judge come, and well, Buffy and Angel finally got together, and then he loses his soul. Like, I remember for the first part of the second part of that, I couldn't even talk because I was like, what? It took me a while to realize exactly what happened to him, and I love Angel so much, so seeing him like that, it's like I didn't realize how dark this show could get, and I felt so bad for Buffy, but it really introduced a great villain in Angelus, and seeing him team up with Spike and Drusilla, amazing writing. Great episodes. Episode 15. I love werewolves. I love vampires, but werewolves I've always had a soft spot because I love wolves. So, and seeing Oz more up front, because, oh, forgot to mention, we had him in the past, kept running into Willow, but not knowing who she was, and you could tell it was like love at first sight, and he really wanted to know her, and then back in the two-parter, finally they got to officially meet, and it was so sweet. But phases, we find out that Oz isn't just a regular guy, he's a werewolf, which was a great twist because he is the calmest guy ever to be a werewolf, so I thought it was a great decision. That reveal, when they revealed it was him, and then they kiss at the end, him and Willow, and oh, they're so cute. I love that episode. And we had episode 16, I'm gonna get tongue-tied on this, Bewitched, Bothered, and Bewildered. I think that was the right order. This is like a be careful what you wish for. Cordelia breaks up with Xander, and then he wants revenge, wants a love spell on her, so she can want him, but he won't take her back. But ends up every woman around him wants him, and it totally backfires. But I thought it was a lighthearted episode, even though it got pretty dicey there at the end. It was hilarious seeing even Drusilla going after him, and Joyce, and good episode. Oh, and we got to see Amy again, so that was cool. Then we had episode 17, Passion. I'm still not over it. I don't think I'll ever get over it. Finally, Jenny and Giles are going to get back together, and Jenny was getting together the spell to give Angel his soul back, and everybody was coming around to maybe forgiving her, and then Angelus kills her to stop her. And that was the first time I've really cried for this show. I've teared up for it, but you guys, as you saw in my reaction, I took that pretty hard, and every time they played that soundtrack, remembering Jenny, I lose it. Ugh, so sad, but I feel so bad for Giles. Amazing writing, emotional. It was an amazing episode, but very heartbreaking. Then we had episode 18, Killed by Death. Creepy hospital, like hospital at night. I don't like hospitals, but that monster, oof, I'm glad I never had a nightmare about him. But it was reminiscent of like Freddy Krueger. That's what he reminded me of, and how he was invisible to everybody else but the kids, or Buffy when she was sick, and the way he killed like those poor kids. Oof. Then we had the next episode, which was I Only Have Eyes for You. I loved the concept of this episode, the parallels and between Buffy and Angel and the student and the teacher, and how it kept replaying between other people over and over again, and how the only way it was broken was because Angel can't die again, just like in the Dark Age. They kind of used that again. And I loved the role reversal during that part. Yes, that was really good. Then we had Go Fish. Fish Boys. I think my favorite part of the episode was when Cordelia thought that Xander had turned, and he was in the water, she thought, and she gave that little speech like it was okay. It showed she really cared for him. We've seen it before, but I thought that was really sweet. But another good little creature feature episode, and yeah. And then we had Becoming Part 1 and 2. My latest reaction, so I think you guys know what I thought about it, but I was nervous that entire time. I just wanted Angel to get his soul back and everything to be fine. And he did, but it was too late, so my heart broke. Still not over it. Sadness. Amazing finale. Like I said, even when the episodes give me heartbreak, they're still phenomenal. And even if Angel's gone, I still really enjoyed it. I already talked about the episodes. I'm going to go into my top. I'd say 5, but I think I'm going to make it to 6. I'll go from 6 to 1. I'm not going to really go into detail again because I just talked about them, but yeah. I'd say number 6 is Phases. Like I said, I love werewolves. The werewolf was a little cheesy, but I still really enjoyed it, and I loved seeing Oz and Willow like officially get together with the kiss, and I really enjoyed that episode. Then I'd say next is probably, I'm trying to put them in a certain order. Probably Halloween, because I love Halloween. I love the concept, and I just realized I'm going into detail like I said I wasn't. Anyway, you know I like it, so that's number 5. And then I'd say number 4 is probably School Hard. Spike. 3. Ooh, this is hard. Probably Passion. Even though it broke my heart, it was a beautifully done episode. And then, this is really hard. And 2 is probably Innocence, and the biggest plot twist ever. And then I'd say my favorite episode is probably the finale. I can like put them together because amazing. So yeah, those are my top 5, 6 episodes. Which could change in future rewatches, but for my first watch, that's my favorites. Now we're going to go on to viewer questions. I'm going to start with Patreon first because I said I would give them priority, so I'm going to answer their questions, and then I'll go on to some YouTube questions. U2U49 asked, how do I feel about how dark Buffy can get? Did I think it was gonna get that dark? And was it funnier than I thought it would be? Now, the show had gotten dark before, but I don't know if I ever expected to get this dark, which I love. I love dramatic, emotional plots, but I didn't think it would go like so far into, especially the middle of the season and onwards, which I'm grateful for. And then was it funny as I thought? Well, I'd seen glimpses of it in the past. It's one of my favorite things about this show is no matter how dark it gets, they put in a little bit of humor to lighten a moment, but not like unrealistically. It still fits in with the moment, but it works, and that's just what I love about it. They also asked, does the show have more of an emotional impact than I thought? Yes. Like I said, I teared up in previous episodes and got a little choked up. But I'm not one to cry a lot. It takes very special shows and episodes to really get to me. And obviously, mainly with Passion and the season 2 finale, what really got me, I guess, character deaths get me the most. Or when certain soundtracks get to me, I get teary-eyed, but no, I didn't expect it to get me this emotional, and I'm kind of worried for future seasons, but we're going to keep continuing, so I'm going to make sure to have tissues now for every reaction, no matter what. Kiwi Jello asked if I hate Joss Whedon yet. I wouldn't say I hate him because he gave us this amazing show. I wish he wouldn't keep ripping my heart out, but it's great storytelling, so I don't think I hate him. I'm just a little weary of him. We'll see what he does later on and if my opinion changes. Bruce Trogdon asked if I think it was right for Buffy to keep the secret of her being a Slayer and killing demons and such from her mom, or if she should tell her. At some point, she found out, but I think if I was in my place, I would have told my mom, but I understand Buffy not because she wants to keep her safe. So it was probably best keeping a secret, but I knew she had to find out sooner or later. UTU49 had another question asking who are my favorite characters and why. Willow is my absolutely favorite character because I relate to her. I just love how pure and it's like the innocence. It's just how she's grown so much from the last season, and how protective she could be over her friends, and when she puts her foot down, it's like it's Willow's way or not. But I don't know, just something about her. I just latched onto her from the first episode and I love her. I also love Buffy, great lead. She's so badass. I love her little quips she gives during fighting to kind of lighten it, even though she's like in a life or death situation, and even though all the responsibility she has, she takes it one step at a time, and I just think she's a great hero. And I love Angel. It's kind of hard to say why I love Angel. I mean, look at him. That's not the only reason. I don't know, in the beginning he was just so mysterious, so I guess it helped I liked him and Buffy together, but I just think his past is so interesting. Having a soul just gives him so much more layers than other vampires, of course, so yeah. I mean, I love all the characters for different reasons, but if I had to give my top 3, that's my top 3. Lana asked, do I have any predictions for character arcs next season? I'm really interested to see where Buffy's going, what she's going to do, how she's going to take having to kill Angel, or send him to wherever he went. I'm just going to say kill, because to me he got killed, but I'm thinking she's going to go through another dark period like she did at the beginning of last season, or season 2 with the Master thing, but I think it's going to be even worse, and a little worried for her, but other than that, I think, Willow, I know she kind of tapped into pretty dark magic, at the end of the season, so I'm wondering, because I'm not sure if she got possessed, or something clicked within her, but I'm curious if maybe she's going to do more spells, or, something of that nature. So, yeah, other than that, I have no idea what's going to happen. He also asked what's the first, major way the show surprised me. I'd say School Hard. Surprised me with, how diverse the characters they can bring in are. Spike and Lucille, that really surprised me in a good way. And then I say the next surprise is probably not till, Surprise and Innocence with what kind of twists they could do, but they're great twists, so. Ukla asked, apart from Angel and Buffy, who are 2 other characters I like having scenes together. This is hard because there's a lot of great combinations, but I'd say Giles and Cordelia. We haven't got a ton of scenes between them, but I think they're hilarious, especially Killed by Death, I think that was, when Cordelia had to go help him research, and he's like, why do I get her? And then she's asking all these questions. I just think it's funny because he has to put up with her, but I just love seeing them interact. So I think they're actually another favorite 2 I like seeing together. Joel Knoll asked what my favorite and least favorite episodes of the season, and did they change my opinion of the series. I already gave my favorites, which they did change my opinion because I was like, whoa, this show is amazing, so it made me love it even more. My least favorite I said before was Ted, and then probably, Bad Eggs, Some Assembly Required, Go Fish. Those are some of the lower end ones for me. They didn't change my opinion of the show because every episode has great moments in it. They're just my lower end. Joe Noel also asked with Angel, Spike, and Drusilla gone, who do I think will be the big bad of season 3? I've been thinking, I don't know if they're going to bring in a new villain, but I don't know if it'll be, like, somebody surprising that we already know. Like, I don't know if they'll go with turning another character we love bad, but who knows with this. I don't know. Really interested to see who it could be. I mean, we had the Master, then we had Angel and them. I know Snyder's been talking about the mayor. I don't know if we'll see more of him. It seems like they know what's going on in the town, so I don't know. I guess we'll see. Linus asked, who do I relate with the most and why? I think it's my favorite character, Willow, because she started out really shy, like I am, but she has moments where her confidence really shines through, and I can say sometimes it does. Like, I usually wouldn't be this confident talking in front of the camera or to do reactions. That's why I waited so long to start them. But I think if you go back to my season 1 reactions, like from the first one and then jump to my last one, I think I've gotten much more comfortable. So my confidence has risen there. But also how protective she can be over, Buffy and Xander and her friends. And, like, when she has an idea, she really makes sure she's heard. And I can relate to that. Miriam Doust asked me quite a few. One of them was, what do I think of the evolution of the characters? And my perception, has it changed throughout the season? I think all of them have evolved. Buffy has gotten way more into her role. She's like taking a hold of it and not pushing it away like she was last season in the beginning. Willow, she's like, I wouldn't even believe she's the same character from like the beginning of last season. She has gotten so much more confident. And I wouldn't say, and then Cordelia, like, now seeing her more with the group, like, I didn't like her at all last season, so she has evolved. Xander, I don't know, he might be one of the ones I don't think has really evolved. I do like him more than I did. He always brings levity to the episodes. I'm a little angry with him at the end of the season, so my perception of him has probably gone down, but I think everybody else has just gone up. Their evolution has been great so far, and they've jumped leaps and bounds, so I'm curious to see where they're going to be in a few seasons. Okay, now I'm going to go to the YouTube comments. I already spent quite a bit answering the other questions, so I'm going to try to go through these a bit more quicker. Yeah, so I'm still going to answer them. I'm just going to try to be a tiny bit more precise, which is hard for me because I ramble, but we'll try. We have there's 2 questions that are totally related to the season. We have James Kelly asked me how am I managing to avoid spoilers. I'm surprised I am, but I have great mods. They're very quick to delete spoiler comments. I'm very careful when I'm on YouTube. I have links saved, bookmarked, that go directly to just my account, my studio for my videos and comments and stuff. Even when I'm on YouTube watching one of my videos to check something, I don't look at the recommended. I even kind of, because I know things can pop up. As for Twitter, I've been safe so far. Luckily, nobody's sent me stuff on there, so please don't. I mean, it's inevitable. I'm probably going to get spoiled with something before the end of the series. I hope not, because I hate spoilers, but I've been lucky so far, so let's hope that streak continues. And then Lily Mae Pretty asked if I could give any personal information about myself. I'm not very interesting person, so as you know, my name's Amber. I live in Michigan, United States. I went to college, but I'm unemployed for personal reasons. I can't work right now, so that's why if you read my Patreon description, it's one of the main reasons it's important to me, but I enjoy doing these reactions despite that, so this really helps distract me. And I have 3 cats. I used to have 4. I have a dog, a really old dog, which I probably told you about because he wails a lot. Like I said, not very interesting. Yeah, that's me. I'm in my mid-20s. I like watching TV shows. And, I mean, yeah, if you have any more specific questions for me, maybe I'll release like a Q&A video one of these times. So, yeah. English Giraffe asked me if my opinion for Xander increased or decreased after his lie that he told to Buffy when she was going after Angel, or him using Jenny's death as fuel for his hatred of Angel. I started really loving Xander this season, especially like his more centered episodes or his scenes. But starting from the finale when he was so dead set on Angel being killed, like he couldn't separate Angel and Angelus being 2 different entities. And then of course him telling Buffy to kick his ass, that Willow told him to kick his ass, when he could have told her to stall. She was doing the spell, and maybe she could have stalled him from pulling the sword out of the statue, and then Willow would have done the spell and everything would have been fine. But so I don't know if that'll come out that he lied. So yeah, I'm not to say I hate Xander, but I'm definitely not happy with him. Omar Sadid said, who is my favorite love couple this season? Definitely Angel, Buffy and Angel, as you could tell. I love them. I love all the couples, Willow and Oz, Cordelia and Xander, and Giles and Jenny, but Angel definitely is my top. And they also asked if I could choose one character to come back in season 3, as in Angel, Jenny, or Kendra. I mean, I'd love to bring back all the characters that are gone, but definitely Angel. I'm hoping, please. Saxman asked, where do I think Buffy, Willow, and Xander will be in 3 to 4 years? Like, what are they doing? How do they feel? I'm guessing 3 to 4 years they'll probably be in college or done with college. It'll be interesting to see how their lives changed after high school, like the dynamic. I'm interested to see if they'll go to that in this show. I think Buffy will be even stronger. Will and Xander, I think their teamwork will be more stronger, like second nature to them. I'm sure we'll go through more heartbreak by then, which I'm hoping not, but seeing our track record so far. But I'm really interested to see where they're going to go, where they'll be in the years to come. I'm also wondering if there'll be any time jumps. I know some shows do time jumps, so I guess we'll see. Suki Galetta said that, or asked, that nobody is safe in the show as we know, but being turned into a vampire, could that be a danger? And who do I think might be turned? Of course that's a danger. I haven't really thought of any of the main characters being turned before. I think it would be really interesting if, like, Xander was turned into a vampire, since he's such a goofy character, seeing him in an evil role like that. I hope not. Definitely not Willow. Please not Willow. Or Buffy. I mean, we saw kind of what she'd be like as a vampire, like, if she was a vampire slayer. That's definitely a danger, and I'm curious to see if they're going to go in that direction with any of the characters. What if Joyce turns into a vampire? Barbara Baker asked that we know by now Whedon loves to stab you in the heart. Yes. If I had to pick one character to never die or leave, who would it be? Willow, my favorite character. if she ever dies or leaves. I'm not going to say I'm going to stop watching the show, but it's definitely going to put a damper on things, so I'm hoping for the best. Just Smith asked, now that I'm done with season 2, I'm still in the early days, do I have an opinion why the show is so beloved and popular, even over 20 years later? I'd say it's definitely the writing of the characters and their development and just the interactions of how deep. I got so invested in the characters, like, right away. Sometimes I have problems in the show if I don't get into the characters. It's hard to get into the show because I'm not invested what's going to happen to them, but I definitely think it's the writing of the characters and their evolution. Ken Davis asked me that Buffy's relationship with Joyce has always been problematic. At times Joyce is completely supporting, and other times not so much. And he's interested how I think she interpreted her coming out, or finding out that she was a Slayer. I've always been teeter-tottering with Joyce back before. I really didn't like her because she always seemed to be coming down on Buffy and bringing the past back. And, like, she never believed in her. And then she had her points were going up in, like, school hard. I was like, okay, I can see I'm starting to like her. Then it dipped again, and then with how she treated her at the end of the season, like, kicking her out. I mean, I understood in a way, and I interpreted it was almost like a parallel of coming out as gay. I think that's what they were going for with the way they were using the terms. So I think that's how they were presenting it to us, and I wouldn't say Joyce's reaction was, I mean, she took it way better than I thought at first, and then she kind of exploded, which, understandable. But maybe if Buffy were told sooner, but the way she found out is the way she found out. Kaylin S. asked me quite a few quick questions. At the end of the season, do I think Angel deserves to be forgiven for what Angelus has done? Yes. He had no control over it. Angelus, the demon, took over his body, did all these things. I don't know if Angel could see this whole time and know what was going on, but he should not have any responsibility for anything. So, that's why I wish Xander would realize. Do I think Buffy should have said anything else to Angel other than I love you before she killed him, like explain? Well, I wish she would have talked more to him. He was still confused coming out of it, but she really didn't have much time, with the statue opening up. I wish she could talk to him a little more so we just had a little more moment, and, but yeah, I understood that that was the most important thing she had to say in that moment. We saw how Buffy's own death affected her in the beginning of the season. How do I think Angel's death will affect her in season 3? I think she's going to go to a much darker place. I mean, that was her first love. She lost him, went through hell. He came back. For a moment, she got him back and then had to kill him. So she lost him twice, pretty much. So I think it's going to affect her a lot, and I'm really worried for her. I feel like Angelus wanting to end the world made sense in the finale. Like, did the progression make sense? I don't know. I really wish they would have had more time to explore the Angelus storyline. It seemed like his only thing he wanted to do was torment Buffy, and then all of a sudden he gets the statue and wants to end the world. I mean, I guess as a demon, they just want destruction, but Spike didn't want it, so I guess it was just a personal preference, but honestly, I think it was just the writing. They needed some big world-ending apocalypse type thing, so I don't know if it made sense in where they were going with the season at first, but it's how it is. If I could change one thing in season 2, other than a character's death, what would it be? Like I said, I wish they would have been able to explore the Angela storyline more. Like, if we would have saw more of him, more different things he was doing. I don't want to say more tormenting Buffy and friends, because I don't want that, but his character was so interesting. A lot of you have said, like, David Brown as, like, the acting as Angelus was great, and it was. I just wish we would have been able to see more of it before the end of the season, but I understand they had to get to other plot lines too, but I would have liked to see more. Amy Williams asked, did I enjoy the, like, flashbacks we got of characters, and would I like to see more backstories? Yes. I said this before, probably I think my last review, that I wanted to see more backstories to the characters, and we got that, especially with Giles and a bit with the others, but I'd love to see a backstory on Spike and Drusilla. I know we saw a little bit of Drusilla, but especially Spike. We haven't seen anything. We heard a little bit, I think, but I always love seeing backstories, especially on vampires, because they've had so much life they've lived, or they're dead, but you get what I mean. So yes, more please. Shayna Trotter asked how outdated does Buffy the show feel to me? It doesn't feel outdated to me at all, because I love 90s shows and early 2000 shows, anything in that era. I just love it. It's very charming, nostalgic to me, so I don't view it as bad. I enjoy it because it's like they're not constantly on smartphones and like all this super technology, and I just like it's more simple, so it doesn't bug me at all. Chris RJ asked me what do I think was the funniest moment of this season. I could do multiple. Honestly, the first one that came to mind, I think it's the most I laughed in my reaction, was I think it was the season 2 premiere when Buffy was being kind of mean to everybody, and Willow was like, yeah, she's being a bitch, and Giles is like, we're adults, we can say it out loud, and Xander's like, what, a bitka? Bitka. I've actually used that now. I know it's such a small moment, but that's probably one of the funniest moments. Or also when Giles and Cordelia were researching the monster in Killed by Death, and she was like, what's that? What's that? And I love their interactions. I think they're hilarious, but there's so many funny moments. Or in the finale when Xander came to rescue Giles, and he's like, no, it's a trick, and they're making me see what I want to see, and then Xander's like, then why would they send me, why would I come? And so many great moments. Bitka is definitely the funniest for me. Okay, now for my predictions. I'm gonna go back to the predictions that I have for season 2, just to see how I did. I'm doing these by memory, but I think my one prediction was that the Master would come back in some way or form, and he kind of did in the beginning, so I got that kind of right. I think my other prediction was that Buffy was going to get some sort of new power, like from dying or something, which I don't think she really did, so no on that. And then I think it was that Buffy and Angel would officially get together or have more, so I was right in that one, so I think I did pretty good. My predictions, I'll do another 3 for season 3. One is that Angel will come back. This is more of a hope and a wish, because she didn't really kill him, because she stabbed him with a sword, and that didn't kill him. He got sucked into the wherever that hell dimension, so hoping there's some way they can get him out, because I will not accept that he's gone for good. So I'm hoping some way they can get him back, or have some sort of connection with him, like some sort of communication at least. Yeah. My second one is that I think there will be some sort of side effects to Willow doing that spell, because it was pretty scary. She looked like she got possessed. I don't know if something is still inside of her from that, or if she'll at least start doing like magic, or I don't know. I think something's going to come from that. And then thirdly, since Kendra died, I was always confused that is it only if Buffy died and New Slayer was awakened, but I think it was explained to me that once Buffy died and Kendra, it was like moved on to Kendra. So now that Kendra died, I suppose there's going to be a new Slayer, so I'm curious to see if they're going to be introduced this season and what they're going to be like. So I think we're going to get a new Slayer, unless they're just going to, they don't want to do what they did with Kendra again, but we'll see. But yeah, sorry for this reaction. It's probably cut up a bit. Sorry if my questions were a bit awkward or rambly. I just want to thank everybody for the support, for all the subscribers and comments I've gotten, and to all my patrons. Your support means a lot to me. I would do this for free, which I'm doing for YouTube, so it's not like, oh, the money. It's just, it means a lot that you guys would support me. I know you guys love seeing full reactions, so do I. So, I'm going to try to be a bit quicker. I really apologize for how my uploading has slowed over this season. I know I prided myself season 1 and early season 2. I mean, I was uploading really fast. And then when I started having the problems with YouTube and figuring that out, and then when I started doing full reactions on Patreon, things have just kind of slowed down. And I've had problems here and there, other things. I want to get back into faster. I think I might make some sort of schedule, like 2 a week on this certain day, or maybe 3 a week, or, then again, I don't want to finish the series really fast. I know I have, 3, 4, I have 5 more seasons of Buffy, and then 5 seasons of the spinoff, right? So I have a lot more. I mean, this is going to probably take me a couple years to finish anyway, but I'm going to try to be quicker. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed season 2, watching it with me, and I'm very excited to get to season 3, which I will be getting to very soon, so you'll get these really close together, and I'll see you then. Bye.